Job interview. It was a sunny Monday morning when Sarah woke up with a nervous flutter in her stomach. Today was the day she had been waiting for, her first job interview since graduating from university. She had spent weeks preparing for this moment, researching the company, practicing her responses to potential interview questions, and picking out the perfect outfit. Sarah had applied for a position as an administrative officer at a reputable company in the city. She knew the competition for the job was tough, but she was confident in her abilities and hopeful that she would be able to impress the hiring team. She had spent the weekend going over job interview tips online, trying to glean any insight that might give her an edge. As she made her way to the interview location, Sarah took a deep breath and reminded herself to stay calm. She arrived at the building and was directed to a conference room where the interview would be held. To her surprise, it was a Zoom interview, which she had not expected. The interviewer, a manager at the company, greeted her warmly and began the interview process by asking some typical job interview questions. Sarah was grateful for the preparation she had done, and she was able to answer confidently and concisely. The interviewer then moved on to some common behavioral interview questions, asking her about a time when she had demonstrated leadership and how she had handled a difficult situation in the past. Sarah used the STAR method to structure her responses, which the interviewer seemed to appreciate. After the initial set of questions, the interviewer asked Sarah if she had any questions for them. She had prepared a list of questions to ask in a job interview, and she chose a few that seemed the most relevant to the position she was applying for. She asked about the hiring process, what the day-to-day responsibilities of the role would be, and what the company culture was like. The interview ended, and Sarah felt relieved that it had gone well. She followed up with a thank you email, expressing her gratitude for the opportunity to interview for the position. A few days later, Sarah received an email inviting her for a second interview, this time with the hiring manager. She prepared for this interview by researching more about the company, reviewing the job description, and coming up with some additional questions to ask in a second interview. The hiring manager asked her some more in-depth questions about her qualifications and experience, as well as some questions that were specific to the administrative officer role. After the interview, Sarah felt like she had done her best, but couldn't shake the feeling of nervousness. She decided to relax and wait for the outcome. A week later, Sarah received the good news that she had been offered the job. She was thrilled and excited to start her new career as an administrative officer. As she reflected on the job interview process, Sarah realized that there were some things she had learned that might be helpful to others going through the same experience. Here are some of her job interview tips. Research the company thoroughly. Make sure you understand the company's mission, values, and culture. This will help you to tailor your responses to the company's specific needs and show that you have a genuine interest in the organization. Practice your responses to common interview questions. Spend some time thinking about how you would answer common interview questions, such as, why do you want this job? Or what are your strengths and weaknesses? Practicing your responses will help you to sound confident and prepared during the interview. Dress appropriately. Make sure you dress in professional attire that is appropriate for the company and the position you're applying for. Dressing well will show that you take the interview seriously and that you are a professional. The end. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We'll see you in the next one.